shrunk below. I mean, if one looks at the history of mankind, a lot of issues have been resolved by people on the ground. You know, the overthrow of the Berlin Wall, that was the people on the ground that did that. You know, the overthrow of communism didn't come from the government, it came from the people on the ground. So I think it's got to come from both sides, the people on the ground, and my sense is that we're very close to that sense in South Africa, where ordinary people like you and me and others are saying, enough's enough. We really will do the right thing. But it's got to spread across society, because we are a seriously lawless society. You know, we mustn't just look at the white-collar crime. When we see people sitting in their cars, you know, driving along, talking on their cell phones, jumping red lights, paying bribes to traffic cops, that's got to stop. And I think the more that happens, the more we will turn our path go on the right road.
Dave Loxton, thank you very much. Co-head of forensics at ENS Africa on the night host from Johannesburg. I got an email from somebody who was a bit unhappy about a friend of his who had the cell phone confiscated, caught using the cell phone while driving, and had the cell phone confiscated, so pays the fine and has to pay get the phone out of impoundment field, feels that is unfair. I'm sorry, don't talk on your phone. I mean, this morning coming into work, it was quite slow coming down Edinburgh Drive, and a Mercedes appeared in my rear view mirror right at the top of Edinburgh Drive, and it had, I don't know whether it was diplomatic, I don't think so, but there was a Swiss flag on the number plate of this car, and this woman is on the phone, and because the traffic, you know, was quite thick, we stayed together until she went off at Strand Street. And at no stage in that journey from the top of Edinburgh Drive to her going off the Strand Street off-ramp from Nelson Mandela Boulevard did she stop talking on that phone. And she probably won't, but she's a good citizen. EWS Traffic.
On the incoming, officials still busy with the pedestrian accident that's at the Shaw. It's between the Macassar turnoff and Badenpaul Drive. The left lane is still obstructed. And in Kenilworth, traffic lights are out at the intersection of Racecourse and Garfield. Receiving SMS earlier that traffic backed up Glen Ken to Parkway due to roadworks. That's at the bottom of Boys Drive. They said one of the machines broke down, and it will take another 40 minutes before they complete what they were supposed to complete, and that's causing the delays. Shirley Maru, EWN Traffic.
Thank you very much. And somebody whose name is OMG. Oh no, that's the closing. That's my little poor joke. Can't believe my eyes. Lady just puts it in bottle store with 6-pack of Castle Light, climbs into the driver's seat of her car, opens one and starts drinking, then leaves car park. OMG. Why Castle Light? It's like making love in a canoe. 5-6 Cape Talk weather. Seriously, that's wrong. Drinking even light beer in your car while driving is wrong. So forgive me for having made a joke of it. Some rain around at the moment, and it's going to be with us off and on, never particularly insistent, up until about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thursday's skies largely cloudy. Thursday's temperature 17 to 21. Thursday's wind, the early part of the day southwesterly and moderate. By early afternoon, southerly and fresh, and then turning southeasterly and fresh towards Friday 16 to 25. Skies, the morning wind southeasterly, moderate, fresh through until about 2 o'clock, when it turns south-southeast and blows strongly, and by evening blowing at closer to gale force. Saturday 18 to 27, Sunday 17 to 25, clear skies on both of the weekend days. The morning wind on Saturday east-southeast moderate, the afternoon wind south-southeast strong. The morning wind on Sunday southeasterly fresh, the afternoon wind southeasterly strong. Monday and Tuesday both partly cloudy, 16 to 26 on Monday, 18 to 27 on Tuesday.
When the day starts, you don't put on a badge and gun or get into a car with flashing lights. But that doesn't mean you can't be a crime-fighting hero. When you report a crime with Crime Line, it's 100% anonymous. So put on your Crime Line mask and be one of the faceless heroes. Send your anonymous tip-off to Crime Line on 32211 or crimeline.co.za. Crime Line is a 567 K-Talk initiative in partnership with the SAPS. SMS is charged at R1.
So your commercial or residential building needs painting urgently, like right now. Luckily, you know a guy who knows a guy.
Surely you don't mean your mother-in-law?
But does the guy you know that the guy he knows be the guy he says he is. David Matthews Painters are recognized as one of the largest, most trusted contractors. We will provide you with professional, hassle-free service. That's a promise. David Matthews, we are affordable, we are efficient, we are friendly, we are reliable. Visit davidmatthews.co.za.
Honey, do you know what Tecron is?
Absolutely, my pumpkin. In cricketing terms, Tecron would be able to cover drive big boundaries and swing up with wickets at the same time.
But then how does
Now, all of this happens at a molecular level. You see, the pitch is your car's vital engine part, and the supporters in the stadium are Caltex. Make sense?
Of course, I totally understand cricket.
Difficult to explain, easy to use. Caltex with Tecron. Feed your engine as you drive. Caltex. It's how you get there.
Showboat is rich with nostalgia, humor, love stories, and well-loved melodies, including Old Man River and Can't Help Loving That Man. With all the glamour of the old American-style big family musicals and a cast of over 50 talented performers, Cape Town Opera brings this classic musical back to the Opera House at Artscape from 16 to 18 May. Book at CompuTicket.
At 567 Cape Talk, we strive to serve all our listeners. To protect you, we adhere to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. 567 Cape Talk is committed to giving you accurate news, fair comment, and balanced programming which represents the diversity of views. But we ask if in any way we're not living up to this code, you direct a complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission. Email bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
John Nathan. Only on 567 Cape Talk.
Arguments in the North Gauteng High Court today about whether Oscar Pistorius' trial, which starts in a couple of weeks, should be allowed to be filmed, recorded, broadcast live. Obviously, the media organizations that want to do that had their advocates arguing that it was entirely in the interests of justice. Barry Rue, arguing for the Oscar Pistorius team, said that it would be an infringement of Oscar Pistorius' rights and it shouldn't be allowed. The judge makes his decision known on Tuesday next week. Up first, senior Eyewitness News reporter Barry Bateman, who was listening to the argument in court. Barry, sum up the arguments for and again, please.
Well, from the applicant side, which is first multi-choice and the carte blanche channel, which has been set up, as well as EWN, and then later ENCA, they're arguing that this will contribute to the principles of open justice. It will tame what they refer to as the circus, in that not everybody who wants to get into the court or who can't, they wouldn't have to necessarily be there in court because it will be broadcast. And they just believe that in the interest of justice, that every South African, and I suppose the world as well, given the massive interest in this story, will have an opportunity to view the trial proceedings and they'll be able to view it without unfiltered, as they refer to it. It wouldn't be going through a journalist, it would go straight to the news consumer. And they want to do this, and I must admit that through negotiations over several months, they've managed to negotiate with the NPA, who did not object to the application for this, strict conditions, and among those that the camera, there will just be 3 cameras inside the courtroom. They'll be small, inobtrusive cameras that are operated remotely, so they won't be the camera person. They're like little spy cameras. And they want audio broadcasts of all the proceedings, but then televised broadcasts of all the expert witnesses, of arguments and of sentencing and of any judgment that happens. But there is a veto which will be afforded to certain witnesses who can, if they choose not to be televised.
Okay, and Barry Rue, why did he say that the judge should rule that there be no live coverage?
Well, firstly, they believe that it would interfere in the way witnesses give testimony, and that they could view previous witnesses or hear details of previous witnesses, how they answered questions, and they could tailor their answers, or they could see how the advocate would ask specific questions, and they could prep themselves accordingly to deal with those. So that's the one thing they believe would prejudice. And of course, the other is how the witness could be put under pressure of knowing that their voice would be heard around the world. He believes that this could also impact on it. He's also concerned with the way expert analysis will be conducted, with the live broadcast of this information would be dissected and then debated, he said, which could impair or prejudice his Clive, and he wants an absolute ban on all the broadcasts, and he just wants it on the sentencing and the documents.
Thanks very much. Senior news reporter Barry Bateman. Jacques Lowe is with us now, media lawyer at Lionel Murray, Schwanstedt and Lowe. Jacques, what do you think? Good afternoon. Do you think it should be broadcast live?
Good afternoon, John. You know, it's a difficult question, and this type of question has gone all the way up to our constitutional court previously. The court's decision will ultimately be what the interest of justice is, and which side of the argument would best serve the interest of justice. You know, the argument generally against allowing the media is, for example, in the Supreme Court's appeal, the concern was that the advocates would be uncomfortable appearing before the cameras. But the main difficulty relates to the witnesses. For example, normally when a witness, in a criminal trial, when state witnesses are testifying, the other witnesses have to sit outside. They're not allowed to hear the evidence. Now, I'm not sure how the court is going to enforce that rule when witnesses can potentially sit outside and look at the TV screen while other witnesses testify. One would think that, you know, in similar to the American system of sequestering witnesses, that's very unusual in South African law. Then obviously the other side of the argument is that this is probably the most public interest trial that has ever been in this country. It's really of great interest in America and all around the world. And it would be sad if people are excluded from this process of justice.
Don't we have to distinguish between the public is very interested and it is in the public interest? I'm